Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be collecting eggs, of course, from my chickens. Well, they're not baby chicks anymore, but my newer chicks, the black Australorps, they started laying eggs at exactly 18 weeks and 2 days. The eggs obviously are going to be very, very small. Really cute looking eggs. They're very small, and we were getting out of 20, what we got, 27 or 8 hens. We were getting about we're getting about 2 to 4 eggs a day right now. No, in fact, actually, the last time I collected eggs, we had 5. And more of the hens are starting to lay eggs now. So that'll continue on for a little while longer. But they're going to be small. I'll be there in a second. They're going to be smaller, and it's going to take a little while for them to start maturing and getting to the eggs larger again. And you're going to get a lot of double yolkers too. Eggs that are more elongated looking, and they have 2 yolks inside. That's kind of neat. So I'm going to go collect some eggs from them and from my regular hens, my Rhode Island Reds and Blue Andalusians. The Blue Andalusians, they lay white eggs. I wouldn't recommend the Blue Andalusians. The birds are kind of thin, so they're not good meat birds. And their eggs are not that big either. I wouldn't even consider them large, you know. So I only got 2 of those left. The rest of them died. And my rooster, of course, is a Blue Andalusian, and he's very, very vocal. Not this guy. The other one over there. But anyways, let me go collect the eggs here, and I'll show you what they look like. And the problem they haven't figured out the nesting box yet. But let's go check them out. Okay, so as you see, they go to bed very early. Compared to my other chickens, these guys go to bed an hour or 2 hours early before sunset. So I don't know if that's part of the breed. We are getting eggs. Got one here. This one's a double yolker. Now ladies, excuse me. These eggs right here, okay, they go inside here, okay? These eggs go in here, okay? Not underneath, not off to the side here, but in here, all right? You got it? I think they got it this time. So, because now I have to get on my hands and knees and dig underneath there. Oh, 2 more. You see, you guys, you can't be doing this. Yeah. So they're not laying their eggs inside here. No eggs here. But I got 2, 4, 5 eggs. Not too bad. So they've been laying for a few weeks now, and this is the smallest one. Well, this is a small one, and this one here seems to be the largest one I've seen. Well, pretty close to the largest one. Okay, now they're getting out of hand. Okay, I'm sure they got their pecking order figured out already, but All right, ladies, these eggs. Oh, come on, not on live on the camera, crying out loud. Oh, come on, guys, have some decency. Okay, found another one. So, I gotta start digging for eggs in here. But, I don't know. It's gonna take them a while to figure out how to, or where to lay the eggs. But in time, they'll figure it out. Oh, another egg. Another egg. Okay, look out, ladies. Oh, I'm crying out loud. And you guys leave the ladies alone for tonight. Alright. Buenas noches. And I'll see you guys in the morning. That one is the loud one. He is loud. Aren't you? So here we got, out of, what do I have, 7 hens. Today we got 5. And yesterday we actually got 7, believe it or not. Just to give you an idea between the blue Andalusian chickens and the Rhode Island Reds. Let me see here. You can see the difference in egg size right there. They're quite a bit smaller, these white ones. You know, when I first got them, I did my research and they said they were large eggs. I'm like, okay, I'll never get that breed again. Like I said, they're too thin. They're not good meat birds. They talk a lot. The male does anyway. He is loud. And their eggs are small, you know, medium size or whatever. So yeah, when these go, I won't get any more. That's how you learn. Alright, so you're probably all wondering, what are we going to do with all these eggs that we have? We have 26 or 7 hens of the black Australorps, and we have 7 hens of the other variety, the Rhode Island Reds and the blue Andalusians. Too much to remember. No. That's a lot of eggs. If you figure almost 1 egg a day, okay, you can do the math. That's a lot of eggs per day. I'm figuring at least 20 eggs per day, probably on average. Maybe even a little more. In light of what's going on in and around the world, I don't see a very good future in these next few years, at least. We all watch the news. we all see what's going on around the world, whether it's in the politics. No more common sense in politics. Well, there never was, but but in all seriousness, there is no more common sense anymore when it comes to laws and things like that. It's really beyond stupidity now. It really is. And in this, on my channel, I don't like to get into politics too much. I don't like to get into other things because those are kind of touchy issues. I try to stay somewhat neutral. But sometimes you just, you got to speak what's on your mind. But I'm not going to get into detail. You are all smart enough to figure out what I'm talking about. Just the stupidity and no common sense is just beyond belief that's going on in this world right now, and what they're teaching our kids in schools. Just the basic politics, no more common sense, dumb laws that they're passing, just our economy. It really seems like they want to destroy our economy. It's just getting really, really bad. And these things that's happening now is just going to snowball, and it's going to get worse. So I would suggest preparing. Now, I'm a homesteader. I'm not a true die-hard prepper, but when you homestead, you do prep, okay? You do put some food away. That's just good common sense to do that. Because you never know what could happen in the future, You just never know. I lived in Florida for, 8 years, and I've seen many hurricanes. And I know what the feeling is like. What was it, back in I don't know, it was 99 or 2000 maybe, somewhere around that time, or 2001. A hurricane, it was a Cat 5. It was scary. It was off the coast on the Atlantic side of Florida. I forgot the name of it, but anyways, it didn't look good. And they let us off of work early. I remember going to the grocery store to try and pick up a few things, and all the shelves were empty. All the canned goods, all the bread, you name it. It was just empty. Everything was empty. And water, and all that was just gone. I remember I went to get extra gas fill up my vehicles, and I remember putting gas in my vehicle, and the pump stopped pumping halfway into the tank of gas. They ran out of fuel. I have videos somewhere. If I can find it, I'm going to try and show it, but you've seen them online. Lines to gas stations that were miles long, people pushing their car to the gas station and not even sure when they get there if there's going to be gas left. I don't want to go through that. I'm sure you don't want to either. So we have to prepare for whatever happens. Now again, in light of what's going on in the world right now, you see all the droughts that's happening in the West, all the excess rain that we're getting, or excessive rain we're getting here in East Texas and other parts of the country. Look what's going on in China. Look at the rain they're getting. Just the floods are unbelievable. It was like something out of a movie. People trapped in the subway cars. Germany. Same thing in Germany. Towns in Germany are just getting flooded out. It never has happened before. And these towns have been there for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And the first time it's ever happened. Turkey too, just unbelievable floods. It's just, in other parts of the world, it's just it's just too dry. So whether it's too wet or too dry, that's going to impact our farming. Farmers depend on water. They have to have the right amount. You don't get enough, your crops die. You get too much, your crops die. So that's what I'm anticipating. The prices, if you haven't noticed, the prices of groceries at the store right now are just really getting ridiculous. You're going for a few things and you walk out, you got a couple $100 worth in your cart. And it's, well, just a couple bags, really. So I'm predicting food shortages, certain foods. I shouldn't have to tell you what they are. I mean, there's just common sense. There's going to be some food shortages on some fruits and vegetables because the crops didn't make it. Your meats are going to get very expensive too. You know, cows got to eat and all that, so everything's going to get more expensive, and there's going to be shortages. I can see it already. So what are we doing with all these eggs? We're going to be freeze drying these eggs. I know I haven't done any video, or I think I did one video on the freeze dryer. We've been having problems with our freeze dryer and Harvest Right, the maker of our freeze dryer. They've been really good customer service. They got right on it, and we worked over the phone, and I fixed a few things where possible leaks. I was getting inadequate vacuum air, so it was leaking. It was leaking in two spots around the chamber, where the wires go into the chamber and where the vacuum sensor is, and the door seal itself. I got a new door seal. They sent me one, and it fixed the problem. We are now, I'll be doing more videos, by the way, too, of freeze drying. We are running this thing non-stop, whether it's meats, vegetables, fruits, whatever, and we're vacuum sealing them in Mylar bags. Why? Because we don't know what's going to happen these next couple of years. Also, this is a very touchy subject, and I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want the YouTube algorithms to pick up on it. But about this certain disease that's going on around the world, it's worldwide, and about also getting, you know, that done to you, and you should know what I'm talking about. It's never been tested before. Why is there such a push on this? Why is there such a push on this thing here, where this disease has a 99.8% survival rate? Now, the people that should be concerned about this certain disease should be those that have bad immune systems, people that are extremely out of shape, the elderly. But if you're a healthy individual and you take your vitamin D, zinc, and eat a good healthy diet, do not overeat because that destroys your immune system. You should be very healthy. You should be able to fight it off. Why such a push? Why is it constantly they're shoving this crap down our throat on the news? There's an agenda. And again, I don't want to get into too much detail, but you know where I'm going with this, okay? There's agenda. Something's going on here with what I just talked about with that, the disease. We don't know the outcome, what it's going to be in a year or two from now, these people getting this, okay? We don't know. It's never been tested before. Will people be dropping dead like flies in a year or two? Or will they be getting cancer? We just don't know, or nothing at all maybe. We just don't know. That's the whole problem. And people are going sheeple, are just going blindly into this and getting this because they think that's the right thing to do. Research. Do your research before you put something into your body like that. You have no idea what this is. This is not your traditional jab, okay? It's not. It's totally different. It's a complete new science, okay? The old versions of that were, they would put a weakened version of the virus in you, where and that would build your immune system up, give your body time to build antibodies. But this new system, this new science of that jab, has nothing to do with the specific virus. It alters your body into producing certain proteins, okay, and just basically altering your RNA and DNA. That's messed up, okay. That's never been done before. You should be very concerned about that. I know I am. I will not be getting it, and I'm sure there's going to be the majority of my subscribers that won't be getting it. It's too many unknowns right now, and they're feeding too much bull in the news media, and it's too one-sided. They won't let the other side speak. There's hundreds of scientists out there that are screaming at the top of the lungs, but the media is not covering them because they see a concern. In a year or two, things could happen to these people. They could be getting sick, diseases and cancers, or even death. We just don't know. That's the whole problem. I mean, I pray that nothing happens and everything just is fine. But we don't know. That's the whole thing. We used to test these things for years. It's just, the world's getting crazy. So, we are preparing, and you should too. Every time you go shopping, buy a couple extra bags of beans, or some rice, some canned goods, things that will store for a long time. See about getting a vacuum sealer. Even a cheap one, it doesn't matter. Get yourself a vacuum sealer, start sealing these things for long-term storage. They're dry. The beans and the rice are dry goods. They'll last for a long time. If you vacuum seal them, no air can get in anymore, and they'll last for many years. Okay. You know, it's just crazy how things are getting in this world, and I just want to tell you guys, you need to start preparing. We are freeze-drying food. We're going to be freeze-drying our eggs. Like I said, 20 eggs a day. We're guesstimating we can fit about 20 eggs in each tray of the freeze dryer. These are going to be scrambled eggs in each tray. So that's basically 100 eggs because there's 5 trays. What was I going to say? The trays, we can fit 20 eggs in each tray, 5 trays, and then after they're freeze dried, we're going to be putting them in Mylar bags and vacuum sealing them for long-term storage. Because if nothing happens in the next couple of years, then great, we have a lot of excess food here. We'll just start eating from the oldest ones, and you know, no big deal. But if things really go bad in a year or two with our economy, with people getting sick, it'll disrupt our entire economy. It could collapse. You don't know the severity of this. Anything, our economy is hanging on not shoestrings but dental floss. There's not much holding it together. We're printing money like it's nothing. What it is now, it's nothing. Inflation is coming. You know, I know there's people out there that think, "Oh, this is conspiracy theory." Then you're living in la la land. Because if you think everything's just going to be hunky dory and everything's going to be, we're going to go back to normal once everybody gets the jab, you know, everybody's going to go back to normal. No, it's not. It's not. Because even if that scenario doesn't happen, our economy doesn't look good. There's too much control. All these big mega corporations are controlling our speech and through social media, what we can and can't say. So we have to be very careful what we say. And this is, but we're supposed to, you know, be a country of free speech here. But it doesn't look like that anymore, does it? Anyways, guys, you get the gist of this. I don't want to get into too much detail. I know you guys are like me. You're doing your research. You see what's going on. Prepare. Every time you go out, get some extra canned goods. Get some extra dry beans. and I'd say dry, okay, because you can store them a lot longer. Rice and things like that. Get all that stuff. Do your research on what's going on in the world. Don't Google anymore. I stopped using Google. I use DuckDuckGo. Don't use different browsers like Brave. Mozilla, I guess, is okay. Firefox. But stay away from Google because they're just snooping on you, just left and right. There's no more privacy anymore. You know, my phone is right here. I've turned off basically everything I could turn off that have to do with privacy and all that stuff in the settings. You can go online and there's some videos you can watch where they can tell you where to shut off things on your phone, settings, where they can't snoop on you. But even then, I still think they are, so somehow. It's not like in the old days. We used to be, old days, that wasn't that long ago, we used to pull the battery out of our phones. Now you can't do that anymore. So this is a different way of life now. It's not the old, ever since 2020 came around, between the disease, the elections, all the politics, just the pure stupidity, what's going on and everything, is just, it's snowballing. You can see it. So all I'm saying, people, is get ready. Put food away because crops are going to fail because of the so-called climate change, okay? Whether you believe it's climate change or the weather is being manipulated, that's up to you to decide. But either way, it is happening. Crops are going to fail. There's going to be food shortages and certain food items. So get these things now. Things that are happening in China, don't expect everything that we buy, either at Walmart, Arbor Freight, or wherever you go, it's all made in China. Everything's made in China. So if things get disrupted over there, it's going to get disrupted over here. So get what you need to get now, and prepare. There's nothing wrong with preparing. I have to say, you'd be a fool if you don't prepare for anything. You have to be somewhat prepared, have a couple of weeks, a month, a year's worth of food, whatever you can do in your pantry, right, at your house. If things do go sour, if things really go bad, the economy, you need to be able to protect yourself too. So think about those things, you know, ammunition, guns and things. You have to think about those things, because when people come knocking on your door for food, and you don't give them any, it might not end very well. You just don't know who's on the other side of that door, you know. Personally, if you have a small amount of food, and if it looks like a decent person or whatever, a mother with kids, give them some food. But you have to be careful. It could be a setup. You just don't know. That's it. You just don't know. All right, guys. I probably said already more than I needed to say. So prepare yourself. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. Like I said, you'd be a complete idiot if you didn't prepare for something. And in the event nothing happens, then you got extra food. Big deal. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.